In Balintawak, we always emphasize the use of the stick. So every time we strike, there is always impact on the strikes. Okay? So I'm going to show to you how we deliver the strikes in close quarters. I started my martial arts when I was still 12 years old. I started with karate. You know, Bruce Lee at the time was still alive. So everybody wants to learn karate or kung fu. So I started with karate. Since my brother was also a Philippine champion at that time in karate, so I practiced karate, and that was in high school. Then when I went to Cebu, I want to continue my karate, and it so happened that my landlord was a Balintawak instructor already. So he told me that, why don't you practice stick fighting? And it's called Balintawak. Then my reaction was, I don't want to carry a stick always. So, and he said, no, you have to go to our club and see it for yourself. So I went with him, and it was Grandmaster Teofilo Velez himself who gave the demo to me. And that was in 1976. I was first year college at that time. And then, until now, I'm still learning the art and teaching it. And the name of that style is Balintawak. And then I form my own organization, and I call it NNG Balintawak International. It's from my initial, Nonato, Nene Gaabucayan. So it's NNG Balintawak International now. See, the sound is in the center. It's not like this. It's not here. Actually, Balintawak is really very combative. You know, because we always think of our opponent as also skilled. So we don't play around. When we train, there's always power shots when we deliver, but of course it's done with control when we train. But it's always emphasized the power shots. Balintawak, we don't twirl. So we kind of conserve our energy, our strength. So when we release the strike, it should be hit. Kind of like that, you know. So when we practice, we always elevate the speed, going up, the power. We kind of simulate really realistic scenario. It doesn't mean we are better than the other system, but it's just the way how we train it. So I always think in my Balintawak that this is the stick. I should take advantage of the power of the stick. I should use it properly. So when I strike, even I'm closer to my opponent, I can still generate power. So that's how I emphasize now my teaching of my Balintawak. Think of the stick like a stick. When you have sword, then think of it like a sword also, not a stick. Maybe because we grew up in a very poor community, and the life there is so tough. You have to fight in order to survive. And then he was a small guy, maybe he get bullied always that time. So he kind of, and then plus the fact that he always mentioned, think of your opponent also skilled. So that what makes all his technique is direct to the point. Like when he was ambushed, they say it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know this squatter area. So he just react. It's coming to him, he just react. And in the process, he chopped the arm, and then the blade goes to the body of the attacker, and then push the blade more further, and then break the hand, break the elbow, break the neck. So that's how he emphasized his teaching, his techniques, you know. When you get out, you have to attack also at the same time. Don't just get out and do nothing. So that's what makes it effective in reality. When you're training, you have to engage always. It's easy to get out, but it's hard to engage in real fights. So I think that's what makes the system very effective when it comes to combat. So the training in Balintawak is always one-on-one. It's always a student and instructor. That's how we train. They will only train how to defend themselves. You know, because when they get outside after training, if they get attacked, they don't know how to defend themselves. Because mostly they don't look for a fight, you know. So what will happen is the fight will, you know, they will be attacked maybe, so they know how to defend right away. If you teach them how to attack, how can they defend themselves? The attack is just only black strike, that's all. Because you know Balintawak, black strike. Not black and then you go there then strike. Because in reality, that's what you are going to use. If your basic is very, if the foundation of your training is very strong, you will only use the basic. You just defend and attack. Once you know how to agat, means you know how to attack, you know how to defend, that's the time you can spar. Because you have the control, you have the power, kind of like you have everything already. Now it's the time for you to fight. That's the idea of Balintawak. You fight close, you give them a lot of attacks, headbutts, punching, elbow, everything that you can do, you can have it in close quarter. You fight long range, it becomes easier because your eyes were trained to see that short attack. Yeah, you fight me with long range, okay. How will you hit me? If you are there, I'm here. So you have to come near to me. Now, if you can hit me, I can hit you also. So that's, other people doesn't understand it, you know. Because they say a stick is always in long range. Yeah, it started in long range, but it always ended up in close range. Why I said Jiu-Jitsu is very effective. You start, you kick, but you get near and then they grapple, you cannot move anymore. It's the same way with the stick. If you know how to hold the stick, to use the stick properly, you don't need to throw it and then grapple. No. It's very effective in close range.
One move.
That's why Balintawak we didn't join tournaments, because to us it creates bad habits. Especially if you put a lot of body protection, you know. Because you don't have, you have no fear anymore, you get hurt. So you just attack. You don't block. Have you seen tournaments there's a lot of blockings? No. Sorry to say this. There's no blocking, always attack. I can spar with world champions. You know, they don't know how to block. I can hit them easily. Even how many times I become world champion. Because I know already that it's not working. Just twirl there and then attack padded stick. It won't happen in reality. Because I'm talking about actual fights. We train, first when we train martial arts, do we think right away I want to become world champion? No, we think I want to defend myself. I want to defend my wife or my mother or my sister. So it's always survival. The idea is how to survive. Not because of, you know, business. Because people, anyway, it's up to them if they like it. But still, I'm still old school. The instructor will guide the student by giving him strikes. He will defend, because Balintawak is defense oriented. I really hope that FMA as a whole, you know, will really, I'm sure it will go more wider around the world, because it is a complete art already. It's there, only that we train first with weapons before we go to empty hands. I'm talking also about Balintawak. Balintawak is very hard to make it wider because we don't accept a lot of students. But still, me myself, I always wanted to make it like the old days. Not accept a lot of students. It's a little bit expensive because it's privatized training, but I think it's worth it. You know, you don't need to spend 10 years, 15 years with me, you know. 5 years is the most. Because I feel insulted also after you stay 10 years and still you don't know anything. I'm not a good instructor. You don't need that years, you know, to learn the art. But you should have dedication to learn the art. It's Gaabucayan@gmail.com, or they can contact me at 213-253-8879. I'm Grandmaster Nonato Nene Gaabucayan of NNG Balintawak, and you're watching FMA Pulse.com.